ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्बोधभूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमहायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Verse 279 श्रवणादित्रयं तद्वत् तत्त्वमिथ्याविवेचनं पुनर्ग्रन्थेरनूदयः बोधस्यैते त्रयो मताः. So up to verse 275, Vidyaranya established that very knowledge received from Shastra is capable of giving liberation. Because in this knowledge only the Granthi Bheda takes place. And Granthi Bheda we have stopped. We know that Granthi means basically it's a combination of or association of a Ahankara with Atma. That's a Granthi. It's a knot. And Bheda means when then destruction of this association means I stop identifying with Ahankara. I claim myself as a Shuddha Chaitanya. Well, I use Ahankara for that purpose. Definitely. I use Ahankara for that purpose. So when I claim that I am Atma, I am Brahman, I require Ahankara. Definitely. And Atma can never say that I am Atma. Always Atma and Ahankara are, they coexist. Until Videha Mukti Val, this mixture will be there. Even the statement Aham Brahmasmi is done by the mixture. And so all transactions basically. So Jnanam, here basically it's a transaction, Jnana Vyavara. And definitely requires Ahankara. The transaction requires Ahankara. So, and definitely, so then mixture alone says this, then how will you say Aham Brahmasmi? Because through Bhagatyag Lakshana. Through Bhagatyag Lakshana I say that I'm not Ahankara, but I am Atma. So this is how it is. So like I gave you example that, when you say I am a writer, definitely you take help of a pen, and then with the pen only you write. But still, in your eye you never include this pen. You know that pen cannot be included in eye. Pen is anatma, etc. Anyway, so this is, so when you say, even though you use, Ahankara also you use like a pen. And with the help of that only you say I am Brahman. But still, you don't include this Ahankara. Even though you use it, you don't include in a I. Because you know it is Mithya. This is Vedanta. All the time you are mixture. Only thing is Satya Mithya Viveka. That's a Vedanta. And therefore, and Mithya will never go away. That is never a Mithya. Which goes away is never Mithya. Which will remain in Vyavara. Part of Ishvara Srushti. Ahankara is a part of Ishvara Srushti. That will remain. But we understand it as a Mithya. And so this is how I am Nitya Mukta Chaitanya, etc. You understand it through the mixture. So I'm not the mind, I'm not ahankara, I'm not the owner of the mind, etc. Well, I am a sangatma, yet you understand very well. Well, definitely you are not connected to the mind, in as much as mind is not there to connect with. It's not some kind of a dissociation. It's, you understand it is not there, it is just an apparent thing. That's how it is. So my freedom has nothing to do with the condition of the mind, because Atma is basically uncontaminated by all the changes of the mind, changes of the Ahankara, etc. Those changes of Ahankara, we call it as a gunas, basically. Then question was, well, if I am not the owner of the mind, etc., then who is the owner? Ishvara. Then who am I then? If Ishvara is the owner of the Ahankara, part of Ishvara Srishti, then who am I? Well, I am trustee of the Ahankara. He is the owner of the Ahankara, etc. Then, well, definitely as a trustee you have to take care of Ahankara, or the mind. So therefore, well, if you feel that, well, it is to be taken care of, like this body also is there, is a Ishvara Srishti. Then you take care of the body till the contract with the Ishvara is over. You take care of it, being a trustee. And therefore, here also with mind also, subtle body, that also you take care of. So this you keep it fit till this prarabdha is over, till the contract is over. You keep it. Ishvara is owner, you have to give it back. And so, well, you take care of the physical body. Same way you take care of a subtle body, fitness. Then how to gain the fitness, or how to maintain the fitness of the subtle body, mind, ahankara, how to keep it fit? Well, 3 disciplines are required. These 3 things should be there in the mind to keep it fit. One is a vairagyam, dispassion. Second is this knowledge. And the third is a uparama. Uparama means a quietude, mental quietude. So, well, this we can employ this, certainly employ them to maintain the mind. It's a maintenance of the mind, like the maintenance of the body. So, as a trustee, you maintain them. Anyway, and to keep, these 3 things should be there in the mind to keep it in a proper shape. Well, then how will I know these 3 things are there or not? So, well, these 3 things should be known distinctly. Then only, right? So, vairagyam means you should be able to identify vairagyam in your mind distinctly. You should be able to identify uparama, quietude in your mind distinctly. And you should identify that this atma jnanam, etc. is there in the mind very distinctly. These 3 things you should know very clearly. Then you can understand that they are there in the mind. Well, and well, with this, if they are there, definitely fitness will be there. So to know these 3 things distinctly, well, you have to know the 3 factors, for each of them. What are the 3 factors? First is a hetu of a vairagyam or a jnanam or a uparama, cause. Second thing is, well, you should know the nature of vairagyam or jnanam or uparama. And third is a consequence of each one of them. So CNC of all the 3 you should know, basically. And then in 278 he started with the vairagyam, 3 factors. He is telling these are the 3 factors. CNC of vairagyam are this. So he is first narrating about vairagyam. So we can know distinctly that, oh, this is called vairagyam, this is there in my mind, so I am fit. My mind is basically fit. Ahankara is fit. And so this, he says here, 278, dosha drishti jihasa cha punar bhogeshu adinata. CNC has been described in the first line itself. Asadharana hetvadyaha vairagyasya trayopi ami. Basically, this asadharana hetvadyaha. Well, hetvadyaha, hetu, etc. So, hetu, sarupam, karyam, etc. So, asadharana means unique. Naturally, if you want to know them, these 3 distinctly, vairagya, etc., if you want to know distinctly, then the vairagya's hetu, cause also must be unique, naturally. So, if one cause is there for vairagyam and uparama, then you cannot know them distinctly. So, you should have a unique, you should know the unique cause of a vairagya, unique nature of a vairagya, and unique consequence of the vairagya. So asadharana hetvadyaha. Asadharana means unique. Hetu adi. Hetu adyaha. Adi means etc. So hetu swarupam and karya. They should be unique. You should know unique CNC of everything. Here, first of a vairagya. What is the unique cause of a vairagya? Well, dosha drishti. Very beautiful. Dosha drishti. So, if you want a detachment, well, then develop dosha drishti for varieties of the objects of enjoyment. Anatma. So, anatma prapancha is there. All the time you are confronting with that, or you are in touch with, basically. And so, in your mind, basically, you have an attachment for one or other thing of the creation. So, develop a dosha drishti. In anatma, there is a dosha drishti. And I gave you example of a poison, etc. Like a poison in a food is there, then I have an attachment for the food, well, that immediately turns to detachment. If I understand that there is a poison in that. Same way here also 3 poisons are there for anatma prapancha, for varieties of the objects of enjoyment. And then that's why you have an attachment. So better know them. These poisons are there, 3 types of poisons. So if you know them, then definitely you will have a detachment. And that is, I have told you that this object of enjoyments definitely give you enjoyment. Let us accept it, that it gives you joy. But it is always mixed with a pain also. So it gives you pleasure, it also gives you pain. And that is the first thing. And then second thing is, it gives you joy, but it will not satisfy you. So that is that nobody wants. Everybody wants a joy, and joy only, nothing else. And therefore, so everybody wants satisfaction ultimately, but then you won't get it. So that's another dosha. And third thing is, it will bind you also, because since you are dependent upon that, so it will tie you. More you enjoy it, more you are tied with it, more you are bound with it. And definitely, if you know this for a given object of enjoyment for which you have an attachment, raga, well, if you know all these 3 factors, definitely you will get a dispassion. So this is a hetu. Cause of a vairagyam is this, unique cause, dosha drishti. It will definitely leads to vairagyam. Then nature of a vairagyam. So he says in the first line, jihasa. Then once you know, you will definitely want to give it up. Like you have given up that food, knowing if there is a poison. You just give it up without asking anybody. You same way here also, you drop the hold of the objects. Or you desire to give up. Jihasa actually, ha dhatu means to give up. Ohak tyage, it's in third conjugation. From their word, jihasa has come. So, there is a desire to give up, knowing the 3 doshas, 3 types of poisons in that. So, deciding to drop the hold of the anatma as a means of security and peace, etc. So, you don't want now to use anatma as a crutch. This is jihasa. It's an internal condition. That's the nature of a vairagyam. Vairagyam is there, then this is there. Like fire is there nearby, then definitely you will feel the heat. Same way, if vairagyam is there, you will definitely, internal condition is this. You want to give it up, this anatma prapancha. Means objects of enjoyment. Anatma prapancha means you want to give up the objects, so-called objects of enjoyments the objects which you were attached before. Now knowing the doshas in them, you want to give it. You want to give it up. That's the nature of the vairagya. And what is consequence? Punaha bhogeshu adinata. You don't want to take it back. You don't want to develop attachment again. For the same food in which there is a poison, you will never have a attachment again, definitely. So this punaha bhogeshu, punaha again, bhogeshu adinata. Adinata means slavery. So, dinata means slavery. Adinata means not slavery, not dependence, not helplessness. So, adinata we can take it as a freedom from dinata, freedom from helplessness, freedom from slavery. of these objects basically. So this is a difference between Sarupam and Karyam, nature and the effect or the consequence of the Vairagyam is this. Nature means basically here, so Karyam means basically you having dropped, once you drop it, not going back and becoming slave again. So dropping the slavery or desire to drop the objects is a Swarupam, and not taking again this slavery or dependence is a Karyam. Not developing attachment again is a Karyam. So now this, so seeing, I mean the three things have been described here for Vairagyam: seeing the defects, etc., dropping the slavery and not taking again to slavery is Trayaha. Trayaha means this, these three things is for Vairagyam. If you want to see that there is a Vairagyam in your mind, to make it, to make the mind or Ahankara fit, well, these three things you should know distinctly for Vairagyam. And then you can understand whether they are there on in your mind or not. So, and this things has nothing to do with the jnanam basically. So, I mean, for fitness, like a person, suppose a jnani is he has a fitness for the health, physical body. I am saying, it has nothing to do with the jnanam. Jnanam may be there and the mind, the body may not be fit. That also is possible. So basically, so if you want to have a physical health, you should do independently something other than the jnanam. You are pursuing jnanam and you have pursued and you have gained knowledge also is fine. But if you want a health, physical health, you should do exercise or whatever. Same way for mind also the same thing. So this develop a Vairagyam and to keep it fit or healthy, well definitely you should work for that even after jnanam. If you want to keep it fit, because it has turned to mithya, and therefore sometimes it happens that certain ragas etc. are there for the objects. So, because the question may come from your side is this: if Vairagyam itself is not there, how he got the knowledge? But because it's not that he has total Vairagyam is absent. He has a certain disposition of the Vairagyam etc. and he gained knowledge and found mind mithya. Now still certain ragas are there in the mind, but it is mithya of course. But mind is not healthy. Even though it is not I am, he will not say I am not healthy. He definitely understands it is mind. But he wants to enjoy the health of the mind also, like he wants to enjoy the health of the or fitness of the physical body. Same way, suppose he wants to, it's part of Jivan Mukti. By the way, this fitness of a physical body, fitness of the mind, subtle body, is a part of Jivan Mukti. Anyway, and definitely you can understand, suppose a person is free, still constantly his body is sick due to some illness, serious illness or something. You can understand he cannot enjoy. He knows he is free, but he cannot enjoy that Jivan Mukti. Please understand that. So, this question, it came in my mind that suppose you may say, Swamiji, Vairagyam is not there, then how he got the knowledge? So basically he gained knowledge, like we used to say, certain ragadveshas, which are having a hold on you. Now suppose you had those ragadveshas or desires have become non-binding. But several desires are there, but it turned out to be that after becoming a non-binding, he knows it is all mithya. So he's not working for neutralizing ragadveshas, he gained knowledge. Then what about these desires in the mind? Ragas are there. What about that? Yeah, if they are there in your mind, then mind is still not fit. But he has gained the knowledge and gained freedom also. But suppose if he wants to make mind fit, well, as a part of the Jivan Mukti, or like the fitness of the physical body, then definitely he has to work for that. That is what is being told here. And at the same time, we should understand that, well, definitely a person who is a seeker also should have fitness in these three things, because he may be having the seeker may not have enough Vairagya. So otherwise he would gain knowledge. Jnani may have Vairagyam, but not total, all ragadveshas are gone. Definitely. And therefore, definitely this, if he wants, Jnani wants to keep his mind fit, healthy. So he will work objectively, well, for a dosha drishti and all these things, so that he will develop more and more vairagyam, his mind become more and more healthy. And he can work better than a person who is identified with the mind, definitely. You can work better if you understand something other than you. You can work upon it. But if you understand mind as yourself, then this becomes a little difficult process. So for Jnani to make the mind fit is not that challenging thing, etc. He can develop easily. In case if he wants the fitness of the mind. So this is how, I mean, just as physical body, I mean, requires a regular exercise. Well, to these three, to develop a vairagya and have a healthy mind, etc. Well, he should know three factors of this vairagyam distinctly, and with the then okay, he wants a vairagyam for fitness. Okay, then he will have a dosha drishti for the objects on which he has a raga, etc. And then jihasa, etc. And punaha bhogeshu adinata will come also. It's a consequence. So asadharana hitvadyaha vairagyasya trayaha ami means of this vairagyasya trayaha amitrayaha. These three things are asadharana hitvadyaha vairagyasya asadharana hitvadyaha. Of the vairagya, these are the three unique features, CNC of vairagya. 279. Shravanadi, that we have read out also. Okay. So, well, now he comes to Bodha, Atma Jnana. He has Atma Jnanam, he will utilize it further to develop a healthy mind. So, Shravanadi Trayam, three disciplines, well, definitely, beginning with the Shravanadi, so beginning with the Shravanam, and all the three disciplines, Shravanadi, so Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasanam, will be the cause, naturally, of a Bodha Hetu. So all three put together is called Bodha Hetu, Jnana Yoga. So because Jnanam is born of a Pramana, and Shastra Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam leads to Vedanta Janya Pramana Jnanam. So we can take it parallelly for a seeker also. Definitely he wants to develop a healthy mind. Definitely he should seek knowledge. Well, it will make him free. But at the same time, it will make mind healthy also. So, bodhasya hetu, first thing, hetu. Out of CNC, the cause of the knowledge is what? Shravanaditrayam. Shastra Shravanam, Shastra and Mananam and Nididhyasana. Then what is the nature of this knowledge? Well, Tattva Mithya Vivechanam. Clean, distinct understanding regarding Atma. So ahankara, etc., which is anatma, which is mithya, and I am satyam, ahankara is mithya. That kind of a vivechana. Vivechana means viveka actually. So tattva means which is satyam, and mithya, vivechanam, viveka. So very pruthakkaranam. Satya mithya pruthakkaranam also you can say is the nature of this knowledge. And and how it has arisen. What is the cause? Shravanaditrayam. Shravanaditrayam is a cause, C. And then nature N is this Satya Mithya Viveka. Ahankara, etc., or the mind is Mithya. And I am Satyam, etc. That also reminding again and again also leads to fitness. So as even you say, I have a problem, this is for seeker also. So definitely he should work for the fitness of the mind at the same time. Well, to have a fit mind for the knowledge, he should constantly remind this thing through which he has gained knowledge through Shravanam, etc. Well, the Jnanam which has arisen in his mind, he should employ it. He should employ to make his mind fit. That Ahankara, etc. is, even when he says, I have a problem, he should understand that in this sentence there are two things. And one thing is Mithya and other thing is Satyam. And that is, problem, I have a problem. If that problem Amsha belongs to Ahankara and I is free from actually the problem. And so nothing wrong saying that I have a problem, but problem belongs to Mithya Amsha, mind, Ahankara, etc. And this must parallelly occur in Jnani's mind, well, sadhaka has to basically remind all the time. Jnani's mind, well, he wants his mind to be more healthy. So he just comes to his mind, basically. He parallelly it just occurs in his mind. So like a tambura shruti for that musician, this the more. So basically, it constantly goes on in his mind. For a seeker, of course, it is required to remind himself to keep the mind fit. So this is a nature of this knowledge, Satyamithya Vivechanam. And the cause, of course, is a Shravanaditraya. What is the consequence? CNC, right? Punaha granthehe anudaya. Udaya means rising, arising. Anudaya, it won't arise. It won't happen again. What? Granthehe, granthi, of the granthi. Granthehe, sixth case. The granthehe anudaya. Well, this will not arise again. Granthi will not arise again. So, granthi means that ahankara, atma, that aviveka will not arise again. So that is the consequence of this knowledge, that this atma anatma, satyamithya, well, viveka which he has done, which is of the nature of that satyamithya viveka, will lead to this, that he will understand atma is satyam and ahankara or mind is mithya. Understanding mind mithya itself makes your mind basically more healthy, and therefore, so granthehe, so mixing up or this knot or adhyasa, etc., anudaya not happening again and again. It's a consequence of a bodha, consequence of a knowledge. So ete trayaha bodhasya mataha, these are the ete trayaha, this hetu sarupam and karyam, well, CNC of bodhasya, of the bodha, we should understand. Mataha, we should understand in that manner. Shravanaditrayam. Hetu, Satyamithya Vivechanam is a nature of the knowledge, and ultimately Granthehe Anudaya, the Adhyasa, etc., will not happen again. Mithya is understood as a Mithya, and Satyam is understood as a Satyam. That is the consequence of this knowledge. Verse 280. Yamadidhir nirodhasya vyahvarasya samkshayah स्युर्हेत्वाद्या उपरतेः इत्यसंकर ईरितः. So now he talks about third thing. So we have seen three things are required for to keep the mind healthy. First is a vairagyam, second is a bodha, knowledge, this atmajnanam, and third thing is uparama. Uparama means what? Calmness. Mental calmness or relaxation, poise, etc. Not physical relaxation, mental relaxation. Means mind should be free from stress, you can say, even that also. If mind has a stress, it is unhealthy. So it is free from the stress, then it is healthy, fit. Yama, what are the factors, what are the CNC of this uparama? What is the cause? Well, it says yamadihi, yama, etc., yama, sanyama, etc., asana, pranayama, etc., all this, ashtanga, yoga is a cause to bring this relaxation of the mind, ultimately. Practice of ashtanga yoga will bring uparama. That's why that is the hetu, that's the cause. Then, what is the nature of uparama? If uparama is there, so then its nature, due to its nature, the uparama is there, then you will understand it, that this is how the mind will be. So basically, thoughts in the mind are non-disturbing. Then we can say there is a uparama. We don't say, basically some of the people say uparama means say it's a thoughtless state. It's a wrong interpretation, but they say like that. So we don't say there are no thoughts, etc. There is some people say, because Ashtanga, see what happens is Ashtanga yoga is a cause of a uparama. Then, Ashtanga yoga will lead to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, thoughtless state. And therefore, uparama is there, then thoughtless state of the mind will be there. That's how they interpret. But it's not. There is no disturbing thought pattern in the mind. Like when I told you, so when you have, when you are listening right now for 1 hour, thoughts are there. Constantly you are thinking, but no disturbing thoughts. Supposedly, there are no disturbing thoughts at this moment. Well, then there is uparama for 1 hour. That's what it is. So this is our definition of uparama. So, mind is there, constantly thinking also is going on, but there is no stress, there is no anxiety, etc. Then definitely there is a uparama. So, we don't say thoughtless state is a uparama. We say, there are no disturbing thoughts. So, then it is uparama. So, this is the nature. Nature of uparama is no disturbing thought patterns. So, chitta vritti, they go to the extent. Chitta vritti nirodha, nirvikalpa samadhi, etc. Well, we interpret the same. Chitta vritti nirodha. Chittam is a mind, antakarana. Vritti, thought. Nirodha. So, nirodha means not total absent. We definitely say it's freedom from disturbing thoughts. Chitta vritti nirodha is equal to, in Vedanta, freedom from disturbing thoughts. That's how we interpret. Not freedom from thoughts. Freedom from disturbing thoughts. That's called mental peace, mental relaxation, etc. So mind keeps on doing its job. And such a span of time, such as will be there in everyone's life. And I told you right now in a class also, it may happen that you don't have any disturbing thoughts. You are just going along with my words and thinking and etc. For 1 hour, various thoughts are there. Yet there is no disturbance. So that is kind of a thing we call uparama. That's the nature of the uparama. So dhi nirodha. Acharya also says dhi nirodha. Nirodha means I have told you, freedom from disturbing thoughts. Dhi means there's this thoughts, mind. What is the consequence? Vyavaharasya samkshaya. Samkshaya means a reduction. Vyavahara means activity. So reduction of the activity. Activity meant for self-improvement, is vyavahara here. We have to take it that way. And because his mind is so much disturbed, so he definitely wants to rectify. For that purpose, he may have a certain desire, and then he does a certain karmas also to fulfill desire in order to gain a peace of the mind. Those things will be reduced. Since your mind has a various thoughts, but there is no disturbing thought pattern, then definitely kama karmas etc. also will be less. And nishiddha karma will not be there, definitely. So vyavarasya samkshaya means this reduction of the activity. Activity for the self-improvement. That kind of activity will be less. So this is how we have to take it. Then, syuhu hetvadyaha. So now ultimately he says these are the CNC of uparama. So, hetvadyaha uparatehe. So, basically, uparatehe, of this uparati, called uparama, same thing. Hetvadyaha. These are the CNC of this uparati. Syuhu is asdhatu, and that is, this is a potential mood. So, the third person, plural it is, syuhu. Uparatehe hetvadyaha syuhu. This is how anvaya should be. Iti asankaraha iritaha. In this manner, I have shown you. Iritaha. I have shown you, I have told you. Asankaraha. Distinction of all the three, basically. Distinction of all the three means distinction between vairagya and uparama and bodha. Because I have given you CNC, which are unique cause, unique nature, and unique consequence of each of the three. And now you will be able to understand very clearly all the three. If they are there, you in your mind, definitely your mind will be fit. Your mind will be healthy, which is objective. It is objective. If he wants to do, Jnani wants to do, he does it. If he doesn't want to do, sometime, for Jnani, sometime, even physical body also. Even though there are certain disease, etc., and remains unhealthy, etc., they still drag their life, up to until the prarabdha is over. It may happen. Or he may work upon. He may work upon. He is free. He may work upon to keep the body healthy. Somebody suggests, well, do some kind of a panchakarma, etc. in Ayurveda. So he may undergo. He may undergo, he may not undergo, etc. That's all upon him. So whether to keep the physical body fit or not, that's up to him. Or allow it to prarabdha to work upon. Sometimes it happens. He may say, let the prarabdha get exhausted. Let it happen, whatever it happens to the physical body. Same way for mind also. Whatever we have thought of, whatever we discussed, well, Jnani may, this Vairagya, etc., he may develop further. He has already certain Vairagya. He has a knowledge, but he may employ again and again to keep the mind healthy. Or Uparama also, well, quietude is there or not. Still, he wants to bring quietude, then he may work upon. Or he knows it is mithya, so he may allow even disturbances in the mind, whatever are there. He may allow. It's a part of prarabdha, so he allows it. So this is purely, on the Jnani's will, basically, to do or keep the mind fit or not, or physical body fit or not. But if he wants to keep the mind fit, well, objectively he develops further. He improves upon, let us say. But for a sadhaka, these three things are required ultimately. And for sadhaka also, well, vairagya should be there, jnanam should be there in this form. Atmanatma viveka should be there in order to ultimately make the mind fit. And uparama, of course, also is required. It's a part of sadhan chatushya sampatti. Okay. So, because here nothing has been told that this is for sadhaka or jnani or something. So Vidyaranya has just narrated. So we'll have to make certain distinction. Because if we don't make a distinction, then we feel that how he will be a jnani. He doesn't have a uparama, he doesn't have a sadhan chatushya sampatti, he doesn't have vairagya, means he doesn't have a sadhan chatushya sampatti. Then how he got the knowledge? So this we have to understand it, and he's going to tell. Due to some kind of an obstacle, this out of these three, maybe something may be in a less proportion, something is in higher proportion. These things are possible. So ultimately, in a jnani's mind, all these three may not be in equal amount. Or may not be in a predominant measure also. Or sometimes it may be in a predominant measure. That also he's going to tell. So anyway, very objectively we have to see this. So this we are talking about ahankara, which is already mithya, which he understood it as a mithya, or a mind which has this kind of whether it is fit or unfit. To make it fit, well, to enjoy Jivan Mukti, you have to make it fit, definitely. Whatever is given to you, keep it them, as a trustee, you make them healthy, fit. So you can enjoy more Jivan Mukti. Well, then in that case, he may work upon also. So 278, 279 and 280, all these three verses, we have discussed these 9 factors, 3 of each of them. Now he talks of the application of all the 3. Verse 281. Tattavodah pradhanam syat sakshan moksha pradatvatah bodhopakarina vetau vairagyo paramavubhau. Of these 3, which one is primary and which one is supportive? We have to know that first. This has to be highlighted. This is a teacher's job, because all the 3 you said for fitness, etc. We have to know which one should be primary out of 3. So because he talked about this uparama, for that he said the cause is Ashtanga Yoga. And therefore, Ashtanga Yoga will lead to Parama, thoughtless state, etc., or Nirvikalpa Samadhi, etc. That gives a lot of fascination to the people. Many people love, basically desire moksha. But some people say Chittavritti Nirodha means thoughtless state, etc., or Nirvikalpa Samadhi, define it as a moksha. And therefore, they are interested more in a yoga rather than in a Vedanta. That happens. And therefore, all the 3 are discussed here, and cause of uparama has been discussed as a Ashtanga Yoga, etc. So people will definitely get lost into that, and he may even forget the Shravanadi, etc. And therefore, what is important, well, he will say now. He will show the relative importance of all the three. So he says, Tattva Bodha Pradhanam. So, out of this Vairagya Bodha, Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, and this Uparama, Tattva Bodha Pradhanam. Shravana, the knowledge of this Tattva, knowledge of Atma is Pradhanam. And whatever is required for that Tattva Bodha also automatically becomes Pradhanam. And that is Shravanadi Trayam, which will generate this Bodha. That Shravanadi Trayam is a primary. Not Ashtanga Yoga is primary, etc. And so Shravanadi Trayam also Pradhanam Syat. So he says here, Tattvabodha Pradhanam Syat, Sakshan Moksha Pradatvatah. And well, because it gives you Sakshan Moksha Pradatvatah, knowledge is direct means for the liberation. And so, then what about this Vairagya and Uparama? He says in the second line, Bodhopakarinav etau Vairagya Uparamau Ubhau. Vairagya Uparamau. It's a dual. Ubhau, these two, Vairagya and Uparama, well, that Bodha Upakarinam. Upakarinam means basically they are subordinate, subsidiary. Well, they are subservient, you can say. Whereas Tattva Bodha Pradhanam. So these are the two words. Pradhanam, primary. Upakarin means secondary. This is how we have to understand. So these two are secondary. So which will help. So without Vairagyam and Uparama, definitely Jnanam is impossible. So they are helpful. So so this is one thing. Without Vairagya and Uparama, Jnanam is impossible. Without Jnanam, other two are well, incomplete. If Jnanam is not there and Vairagya is there, Uparama also is there, but he has not undergone, he has not done a Shravanadi, etc., Shravana Mananam, etc. He has not exposed himself to the teaching, then they are useless. So without Vairagya Uparama, knowledge is impossible. And without knowledge, Vairagya Uparama are there, then they are useless. Both the things we have to understand. Without Vairagya and Uparama, knowledge is impossible. And without knowledge, Vairagya Uparama are useless. And therefore, basically, all the three are required, but one is a primary. First is that is Bodha. Atma Bodha, which is a Sakshan Moksha Pradatvata, which is a direct means to give you moksha, to make you free. That's a primary. And for that, Shravanadi Trayam also becomes primary, because that only will generate knowledge, Shravanadi. Therefore, that also becomes primary. Then this Vairagya and Uparama, well, definitely are required, because that will lead to the qualification, etc. And so now we are not talking about the Jnani, you can understand. So now he has switched over to a seeker. We have to understand in a certain context. And we feel that knowledge is impossible, then you are talking about Jnani, and now you say knowledge is impossible. So for a seeker we have to understand that way. So that is, mere quietude, etc., well, does not give this knowledge. So people, and mere, uparama, the quietude, etc., does not give you knowledge. Even mere thoughtlessness also, people sit thoughtless, in a thoughtless state for a number of time, for some time, well, for a length of time, but no benefit. And there's such a thoughtless state comes also, like in a deep sleep state. It has not much helped. So only knowledge is important thing to gain moksha. And people say, well, knowledge will happen. Let me sit in a thoughtless state, in a quietude state, etc. It will not come. You have to employ Shravanadi, etc. Anyway, so Bodhopakarinav etau, these two, Bodha, Upakarinav, they are the secondary to this Jnanam. What? Uparama and Vairagya. Verse 282, Trayopyatyantakaश्क्वाश्चेन् महतस्तपसः फलं दुरितेन क्वचित् किञ्चित् कदाचित् प्रतिबध्यते. He is giving a varieties of the cases. he is describing various ahankaras, various types of ahankaras or the mind, which are in the pursuit of this moksha. Various case is different. So Vidyaranya says, well, if sadhaka has got all the three in a very good measure, trayopi atyanta pakwaha, atyanta pakwaha cha, trayaha api atyanta pakwaha. So, well, atyanta pakwaha means they are full, they are in a full measure, fully mature, all the three, in a mind, in a ahankara, somebody's ahankara. It is what? Mahataha tapasa phalam. Well, it is a result of a great tapasya. What kind of tapasya? Sitting under a tree and doing and thoughtless stays acquiring? No. All our tapasya is basically disciplines. Disciplines which can enhance your capability to gain knowledge. That is called tapasya. So our karma yoga is also that's a general meaning of tapasya. We should know this. Tapasya has a two meaning. One is a general meaning, one is a specific meaning. Specific meaning is a willful self-denial. Willfully. Self-denial. That is a specific meaning of tapasya. Like you want to remain hungry. Or you don't want to give a desired objects of a various sense organs, you don't want to give. Willfully, today, suppose. That's also called tapasya. That's a specific meaning. General meaning of tapasya is a following certain disciplines by which a religious goal or a spiritual, you go near to your religious or spiritual goal. That's called tapasya. So you follow. Like doing puja is called tapasya. Chanting is called tapasya. Meditating is called tapasya. It's a part of religious life, which will definitely make you more, which will bring you more to the closer to the goal. So this is a general meaning, and in that general meaning, Bhagavan has used in chapter 17. Bhagavan has talked about three types of tapasya in a 17th chapter, and he has divided the tapasya in a two manner. One is depending upon the type of instrument which you use for tapasya or to follow the discipline. Depending upon that type of instrument, he has divided. Like he has said kaikam tapaha, vachikam tapaha, and manasa tapaha. So basically, so three types of tapasya depending upon, suppose you are doing with the help of physical body, you are doing tapasya, following certain discipline. What? Puja. So that's how he said, well, Devadvija, what he said, Devadvija Guru Pragnya Pujanam, etc. That is what he said. So Deva Pujanam. So for doing a certain ritual, definitely it involves a physical body. Anyway, so that is Kaikam. Then Vachikam, chanting, etc. And Manasam, so Upasana, etc. So if these three disciplines at a three levels will bring a difference in that tapasya, Kaikam, Tapaha, Vachikam, etc. So depending upon the type of instrument which is used in following the discipline. And the second type of a tapasya, three types of tapasya, he said based on guna. So Satvikam Tapaha, and then Rajasam Tapaha, Rajasika Tapaha, and then Manasam Tapaha, etc. So he talked about 6 types of tapaha based on three each of them. So that is a general meaning. So following a certain discipline is also tapasya. Willful self-denial also is tapasya. But that kind of tapasya he doesn't talk about in Bhagavad Gita. Willful self-denial, etc. So that is mano nigraha and etc. Indriya nigraha, etc. So that is a different thing. But here, this in Vidyaranya says, so tapasaha phalam, mahataha tapasaha phalam. Well, it's a result of a great tapasya. No problem, Gitaji. So it is the result of a great tapasya, right? And so generally all the three are not in full measure. If somebody has, well, it is atyanta pakwaha. All the three are in full measure. All the three are mature. Vairagyam and bodha his knowledge also is mature, and he has a dispassion also, full amount of dispassion, and his mind is very, very quiet, and so Uparama also is in good measure and all that. Then he says it is Mahataha Tapasaphalam. He must have followed these religious disciplines in a great measure. For a length of time he must have done tapasya. And that tapasya will be in the form of this following karma yoga and upasana, etc. That is our tapasya. That's a religious discipline. We don't talk about tapasya means sitting like a rishi under a certain tree and meditating or something. It's not. Our tapasya we know is this. And that is what Bhagavan talks about. And so we take it that way. Anyway, so generally all the three are not in good measure. There is a gradation in one or two or three. One is in bigger, I mean one is a predominant, other two are less, or two are predominant, one is less, etc. etc. Why? Because of obstacle. Pratibadhyate. He says very clearly, Duritena pratibadhyate. Because of some durita. Durita means the past, actually our karma. Anything which is obstructed in our life is karma only. Nothing. No one is responsible in this world. Otherwise it's an accident. Somehow Bhagavan gave a lot of durita to me. And he has kept you free. Perhaps your durita he has given to me. Whatever. So that is how people discuss. In a family also that discuss. Your papa, etc. has come to me, etc. Something like that. But point is, durita means our own past wrong actions. That's called durita. But why durita? Let us call papa. No, durita. No papa. But you are calling as a papa. Yeah, I am calling papa, but I will say durita. Because it's an obstruction. A papa which becomes an obstruction in your acquiring this spiritual goal called moksha is called durita. And therefore, duritena pratibadhyate. Definitely. So, out of these three, it should be in a full measure, but if it is less, then either of these three is obstructed by durita of the person, by his durita. So, kvachit, kinchit, kadachit, pratibadhyate. Kvachit, in some occasions. Kvachit means actually in certain places. Kinchit means either of these three, one of these three. And kadachit, and at some time, is obstructed. Means he's showing this obstruction will be there due to certain condition. So maybe a time, maybe a place, or a certain situation. In a certain situation, so some people are quiet in a one place. Let us give an example. Some people are quiet in one place. If they go to some other place, they become extremely disturbed, and therefore their uparama has gone. And some people are very quiet at a certain time, and at other time, I mean they basically become very disturbed, and in certain situation, right? In certain situation, some people are very quiet, and when they go to some other situation, when they face another situation, they become very disturbed. So this is how it is. So kvachit, kadachit, kinchit, pratibadhyate. Kinchit means either of these three. I have given you example of a quietude uparama. You can take about vairagya also. With certain objects, and in some places he has a very good dispassion for the object. In some other place, if he goes, he is so much attached and attracted to certain things. So this is how it is. So kvachit, kadachit, pratibadhyate. Duritena. Because of durita, he will be having these issues. Anyway, so now let's go ahead. Today I have some time, right? I have no class today, right? And therefore, we will see one more shloka in case if we can see. Verse 283. Even in a kadachit, you can take age also. Some people are very quiet when they become, in age. If they are young, when they are very, very disturbed and etc. When they become, and then later, they in old age, etc. they become quiet. So anything we can take it here, time, place, and occasion. Kadachit, kinchit, etc. Kvachit, everything. So 283. वैराग्योपरति पूर्णे बोधस्तु प्रतिबध्यते यस्य तस्य न मोक्षोऽस्ति punyalokasthapo. It's an extension of a previous verse only. Previous verse describes this, a different people with a different obstruction. And actually previous verse described a person, rare people who are having a on full measures, right? Pakwaha. Now in these two shlokas of 283 and 284, he talks about the people who have got some obstruction compared to the person who has got all the three in a full measure because of a tapasya, etc., which we discussed. So he says people who are having a Purna Vairagya and Uparama also in a full measure. Well, because of a Uparama, because he must have done a Ashtanga Yoga, so he might have got Samadhi Abhyasa, etc. Then he might have got Uparama. And he has seen, he was developed a Dosha Drashti, etc. for varieties of the Anatma objects, various objects of enjoyment. He may have a Uparama also in a good measure. Possible. So out of the three, suppose a person may have a Uparama and a Vairagya in a full measure, but then knowledge is not there. Then it's of no use. So if, knowledge is not there. Why? Because Durita, again. Pratibadhyate. He does not come in contact with the teacher at all. And even somebody tells him, he doesn't click to him that let me go and have a satsang. No. He in fact advises the other person not to go. So that is possible. So, pratibadhyate. Because you come in contact with the teacher and you like and you attend and further it continues, all these things is anugraha, daiva anugraha alone. And therefore, duritena, this is pratibadhyate. Knowledge is pratibadhyate. He has done samadhi abhyasa, attained uparama also, and he has a vairagya also. Everything is there. Then, he should gain knowledge. No. Duritena pratibadhyate. So, and even if he comes to know in one class, and teacher is describing Aham Brahmasmi, he takes it as information. And so, he takes this is not a fact for me, etc., etc. This is all Durita. So it is just information. So when content is fact for me, then it becomes Jnanam. Otherwise it's just information. So imagine a student. He's describing a one particular case. That imagine a student like this. This information, definitely does not liberate the person. So bodhahatu means unlike other two. Tu means parantu. So other two are in full measure, but bodhaha, yasya, for this person, is not there. Then definitely because of the durita, then moksha nasti. Then there is no moksha. Anyway, then what will happen? Suppose let us take a little, rather than this case, let us take a case which is more practical. These two are there. And suppose when he exposes himself to the teaching also, and yet knowledge doesn't take place. That's better case. Let us take it that way. So yes, sir. He suppose he doesn't gain this knowledge for the person who has these two in a full measure, Uparama and Vairagya, but no knowledge due to Durita. Then moksha nasti. Then this whole thing is waste? No. Nothing is waste. He will be reborn. And Vairagyam and Uparama is carried forward. It's a sadhana chatusha sampatti. In this life, due to Durita, which belongs to Prarabdha, he did not gain knowledge, but in that in a new Janma, he will definitely gain it. Information, in that life it was information that is there in his Sukshma Sharira, in his mind. And but since he has listened to the Shastra, let the knowledge has not taken place. Still, he will gain Punyaloka. That's what he says. Tapo balat Punyaloka asti. Tapo balat, Vedanta Shravanam, he has done his Ashtanga Yoga, Vairagya, etc. is there. Shastra Shravana, etc. he has done. So Vedanta Shravanam, see, the Shravanam can give two types of result, primary and secondary. Primary result is Punya, you can know. Or let us say knowledge. Knowledge is a primary result of a Shravanam. Right? We have seen that that's a cause. But the secondary result is Punya. Because it's a Shastra Shravanam. And so definitely he will go to tapobalat punyaloka. He will go to some punyaloka, and then kshine punya martyalokam vishanti. He will come back and will take a birth in his family where he will continue his journey. And the information which was there in his mind in the previous life, remained information due to durita, now turns to knowledge, because he has already vairagya and uparama. Sadhan chatushtaya sampatti was there, and therefore that is also a part of the subtle body, mind only. So he will gain knowledge in a new life. So that's what Bhagavan said in 6th chapter. Prapya punya krutan lokan ushitva shashvati samaha, etc. And therefore tapovalat, due to his tapascarya, in form of listening, shastra, everything, etc., and in form of doing this, even ashtanga yoga, vairagya, everything, so he will definitely gain punyalokam. So if moksha is not there, nothing to worry. He will get some punyaloka and then returns and then continues his journey. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.